All right, we're in class number 9, gratitude. So if you remember, the 6 principles that we found through research were highly correlated with people's happiness. These are the different activities or different intentional activities that successful, happy people are engaging in. One of the top 6 that we're sharing with you today is gratitude. People that are highly successful, happy people, they scan their environment for positive. They're looking for different opportunities in their life to focus on what's good in their life, and that starts creating ripple effect with more and more positive things going on in their life. And so now that you have started using this process where you're really engaged in what makes you flow, you're engaged in meaning, you're doing things that are consistent with your goals and your mission statement, it's very important for you to understand that it's your thoughts as you go through this process will dictate where you end up. It's no good if you're involved in your flow and your meeting and all of a sudden as soon as you finish the activity, you find something negative to think about. And so this is the third component, flow, meaning, and positivity. These are the 3 things, if you want to boil it all down to what we're focusing on in this course, it's flow, meaning, and positivity. If you can focus on those 3 things and add those 3 things to your life, you're going to see a huge shift in all the different things we're focusing on. And so 4 of these criteria are just different aspects. 4 of these principles are just different aspects of positivity. The first one we did in terms of positivity was class number 8, which is to be human, which is to get into self-acceptance. How do we do that? You focus on the parts of yourself that are positive. You start looking at what you're doing in terms of your mission statement. You start focusing on what you're doing that is consistent with your mission and start feeling really good about yourself. Gratitude is the same force of looking at all the different things going on in your life and finding actively what's positive in your life, but it's in terms of generally outside of us. It also can include what we're grateful for inside of us, but as we go through this exercise, you're going to see it includes all of your life. Different things that you can be grateful for. And of course, if you look at people who are going through depression, they're going through anxiety, what's happening is their mind is basically blocking out what is positive to focus on, and they're focusing on what's negative. And that's what their consciousness gets filled up with. That's what their emotions become tied to. And so in this module on gratitude, in this class, we're going to be focusing on different ways for you to start focusing and scanning your environment for the things to be grateful for. And the research that we've done shows that thousands of people have gone through this very simple process of this exercise that we're going to share with you, which is to find 3 new things that you're grateful for each day and to write them down. And these 3 new things will have to be new. And as a result of that, the things that you're normally grateful for are done. If you have great hair, that's it. You're done with your hair. Put that down, and that's your hair. If next day, it's going to be a little harder because you're not focused. You can't just automatically use the things that you're naturally grateful for. You're going to have to think of new things. And what that does is it's stretching your brain to start scanning your environment, looking around, and saying, here are some positive things in my life. And here they are. And as you do that, you're building the muscle. You're building that muscle of being able to see what's positive in your life. And the more you do that, the more that becomes natural, automatic, subconscious for you. And you start doing it naturally. So the way we start with this is by asking you to do this exercise. You're going to do it right now the first time. It's going to be relatively easy because you're going to use those things you're naturally happy about, the things you're naturally grateful for. Tomorrow will be a little bit harder. Because you've used up the things you're naturally grateful for, you got to think of something new. And the next day it's going to be a little bit harder until you actually have to start thinking of truly new things that you're focusing on. And it's that difficulty, it's overcoming that difficulty of thinking of new things, and you have that moment of pause and you say, well, I don't know what to, this, that. That's where you're actually getting this growth. A lot like going to the gym. Lifting the weights that you can lift really easily, that's not going to grow muscle. It's when you're doing that extra push where it's getting a little bit difficult, that's where you start getting stronger. That's where you start building muscle. And so we're trying to build this muscle of your brain that perhaps for those of you who are taking this program who are dealing with common depression, common anxiety, these normal feelings of blah in your life, you haven't exercised this ability that we have to think about positive. And one of the amazing things about the brain is the power of the imagination. And what we know is when we have people hooked up to machines and you can see their physiological response to something positive, it's really no different when they're actually experiencing it from when they're imagining they're experiencing it. So if you guys went to the Bahamas and we followed you around and we had you all hooked up, we measured your heart rate, your physical response, we measured your muscle tension, all these things, we'd see all these great scores. And then you'd come home and we'd hook you up to the same machines. We'd say, let's see you do that again. Let me see you imagine yourself being in the Bahamas. There you go. You'd have all the same physiological responses. And the reason for that is the brain does not know the difference between when it's really happening and when you're imagining it happening. And so you can actually be experiencing more and more positive in your life just by sitting there in your own mind and your own imagination. And it starts bringing a ripple effect into your life where you start seeing more positive, taking advantage of more positive, feeling better, and all of the positive things that flow from that happen because we know that people who are happier are more successful. People who are happier we found on scales of health, they're healthier. They have better mental health, better physical health. They have better relationships. They do better at work. They make more money. All the different things that we're looking to measure in terms of internal, external success, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're that much more productive when you're happy. And this is one of the key components that researchers have found, is this ability that we have to focus on what's positive actually starts changing all the different things that we're trying to do in our lives. So I want you to go ahead, get started with this. It's going to be relatively easy today, but the prescription, again, is for the next 21 days. You're going to be finding 3 new things that you're positive about. You can use a workbook. You can use an electronic way of tracking it. Some people put it in their cell phones. However works for you. But for 21 days it should be on paper or written down somehow. And after that, what we find is that people start again doing it naturally in their own heads. So you may have that impulse to just do it in your own head. See how it feels when you write it down. It becomes more of a reality for you.